In this video, I'm basically going to show everyone how I just mix the fertilizer that we just apply to our plants. This could be applied to any plants really, rosemary, roses, the seasoning plants, and leafy greens, dragon fruit, every single thing. So I use this for everything. Now, it's not the best ratio for everything, but it does the job, right? So this is what I do in this video. Now I am going to be watering my entire plants with this spray can, right? So basically with the fertilizer, right now this is a 4-gallon spray can, 20 liters. So you have to do your maths when you're doing your watering. If you're using a 1-gallon bucket like this, you just need to use like a small portion. So here is a half a teaspoon. That is what I'm going to use to measure it out. Now, based on the ratio I'm giving everyone, what you can use is basically, what I'm going to use is basically 4 half a teaspoon. So that is like 2 teaspoons in total, right? That's going to be like around 10 grams basically that I'm going to use for this. So when you're doing your ratio, it's 4 of these. If you're doing a 4-gallon spray can like what I'm using here, right, 4 of these into the spray can. Right now when I'm doing this, it's good practice to basically dissolve them out before you put them in, but in this case I'm just gonna put them in and dissolve them out one by one. Oh Jesus, sorry for the mistakes. It's just I'm doing this with one hand. 2, 3, 4. Now when you mix in, I will always recommend that you do this one by one. So I'm gonna carry this to where the hose is to dissolve it out. Right, so you can see the fertilizer there. Just gonna fully dissolve this out here. Right. It's good practice to fully dissolve out one fertilizer at a time before you add the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this fully dissolve out. I'll run this and fill up this reservoir. Then I'm going to put the others in and we're going to operate like that. Right, so now I'm going to add in the magnesium. Right, so what I'm going to do here is, wait, before I put it in there, put this back. Right, that just sift it out of any heavy particles. Right, so like I said, so the ratio is 2, 1, 2. So we're going to use 2 parts of magnesium here to the ratio of NPK that we now put in. So I'm going to dissolve this out, and then after we're going to put the calcium in. And you have to go in this order, by the way. The NPK first, magnesium second, calcium last. Right, so once the magnesium is fully dissolved out, then we're going to put in the calcium after. So what I normally do is after I put the magnesium in, I actually remove that mesh, and then after I spray enough water to fully dissolve all the 2 compounds together before I put in the calcium last. Right, so you can see like it kind of clear on in there, even though we put the fertilizer and the magnesium in there. The last thing we're going to do is put the calcium. Now when you're doing this, I would recommend you dissolve all of them out fully before you put them together. Not doing like what I do in here, but I don't mind doing it like this because it has a mesh to protect it, so it's not like the heavy compounds going in there. Right, so now we're going to put the calcium in. Right, you want 4 half a teaspoons of calcium. 3, 4. Right, so that's pretty much it there for the fertilizer aspect. We're gonna dissolve this out now and fill up this entire reservoir, then give it all to all the plants. Right, so we're gonna dissolve all the calcium. This might take the longest to dissolve out. That's why you kind of put them last two, and it's also to prevent some calcification from happening. Right, so yeah, and now we're just gonna fill up the reservoir, make sure everything good, and then we're gonna deliver the solution to all the plants. Right, so it's fully, the spray can is fully, like, you have fertilizer fully inside there, right? So we're gonna cover this and we're gonna spray and also drench the plants with this fertilizer, right? This application I normally do in like once per 2 weeks or once per week, depending on how the plants grow are. I don't want to push the plants grow too much, so we're just gonna do that. You don't need to use a spray can, you could just use a bucket and like water them little bit by little bit with a cup. You could do that too, right? I just have an electric spray can, that's why I'm going to utilize this for. Right, so they don't need a lot, like I said. I just giving them a little bit each plant because this is a strong fertilizer here, right? So this is, remember what this is. This is like everything, nitrogen, potassium, calcium, right? All the micronutrients that the plant will need: boron, manganese, zinc, copper. And this has all of it, right? So I just give the plant everything basically. Like I said, this is what we normally give our plants. You can go on contact, like what I'm doing here with the rosemary, right, with the fertilizer as a spray, right? You could also drench the soil as well, like this. So encourage more production. I don't think these get watered properly, so I'm just giving them real plenty here because I don't really see like the sprinklers reach these. Probably that's why the soil is so dry as well. So we're just giving them a little bit extra. Oh, this one dry up. Them. Alright. Only I would get some losses too in between, so. But yeah, right, so yeah, this is pretty much what I was doing, and this is how all I'm getting the fertilizer. And like I said, this is like once every 2 weeks, or once a week I will give them this because this already has fertilizer in it already. Just giving it extra fertilizer at this point. So yeah. I know some people ask like how much do I give each plant. It really depends on the size. Smaller plants don't require a lot compared to bigger plants. Bigger plants will demand more, but I will give them in moderation, like small amounts. You could always add, but you can't subtract. So I would recommend that you go less, go a little bit, and you could always add over time. Don't overdo it. Right, so going into a little bit here. See, like these bigger plants, I want to like coat them properly so they get enough, so they're fully fertilized properly. This one has some bugs, but this is like the biggest one. Like these things are living in them. This is not pesticide, so you're not gonna kill them, but it's like I'll prefer if they're not around though. But yeah, for like a bigger plant like this fertilizer is gonna make it grow really, really big. And I'll give you guys updates over coming weeks. So you get to see the production of these. Yeah, so I just wanna make sure I like getting this whole soil in, all the soil, so that way I know for a fact that these get proper fertilizer. This one is an older one that was struggling for some time, so I hope it revives. If it doesn't, well, that's okay. You know, you can't expect everything to always win in agriculture, so whichever wins at this point. Just do your best. Right? So yeah. For any reps, give them enough fertilizer. Should be good. So same fertilizer I see applied to the rows as well. Like I say, we apply to almost everything. This fertilizer has everything that the plant needs. Right. These roses come in really well. So you see how I fertilize. I normally try to get a little bit on contact at the plant, and I also try to get any soil as well, because the plant uptakes two ways. Plant uptakes on contact, right, and it also uptakes through the soil. So if you get through the soil and you also get on contact, you'll get good production, right, because your plant uptaking both ways. So you can see here all these flowers, roses, tend to basically give them all of these here. Same fertilizer, nothing special, just the fertilizer that we use on the farm here. We use it for all of these. See, make sure I get your roots good, because it's just to ensure that the plant gets proper nutrition both ways through the roots, because they can only uptake two ways, on contact and through the roots, right? So you're seeing it here. Right, so this fertilizer basically works for everything. There's another rosemary in front here. Right. One fertilizer doing everything here on the farm. Nothing special, nothing too crazy. It does it all. I don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, straightforward. You see the amount of fertilizer that I'm using. It's not a lot, it's a little bit. Right, and that's doing everything here. And this is only 4 gallons. I think I'm out it. It's like real minor. Check out the rose though. The rose is coming real good. And like I said, once every 2 weeks I'll apply this. Every other day is like water normally. Right? And you see like how I coating this, like I try to make sure I get all the roots and get the plant itself. So like kind of over drenching it a little bit, but I know they will come really well once I fertilize them this way. Oh, this is hibiscus. Yeah. So you see me doing roses, hibiscus, herbs, all of it getting the same fertilizer. Oh, this is a plum, so we're doing fruit trees too. This plum gonna get real big. This plum gonna get real, and this plum tastes real good too. Like, it's a real nice plum. We was kind of struggling to actually get to root, but after we added the soil, then it started to actually come better. So remember what I said, is taking contact of 2 ways, on contact and the roots. I just want them to get the fertilizer faster, so that's why I'm spraying the fertilizer on them and well in the roots itself. Right, so what I normally do now, right, so as you notice, I took out the nozzle, right, and now I'm just drenching them out here. This is to just add more fertilizer, right, faster speed. Let's get them, yeah. So this is just to get more solution. Oh, I almost forget that one plant in front. We had to do that one plant in front. But this is just getting more solution to them faster through a drench. Right, you can see I just take out the nozzle. So the contact spray was to ensure that I got the entire plant, and now this here is to make sure like I give them way like enough fertilizer in total. So this one I didn't fertilize, and you can see it's kind of struggling. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna fertilize it like this, and then I'm gonna spray the fertilizer on them directly. Right, so I'll switch on. So the first time we fertilizing this one, because my aunt planted this one here. Yeah, so the first time this one actually getting fertilizer on contact, and fertilizer in general, because I never fertilized this before. So you'll see the difference how the fertilizer works with this. Just want to make sure I get it completely good. Right, so as that work there, right, so these dragon fruit struggling a little bit, so I'm just applying the fertilizer on them. They need water, to be honest, that's why they're yellowing so much and looking like this. So, but I'm just gonna give this as much fertilizer as possible right now. Hopefully it helps, but this really needs some water. That I think, look again, about there too, right? So, but I'm just gonna fertilize this for now. And should I get a trim by like all those branches at the bottom there? That's alright. Right now, just getting as much fertilizer as we can on the plant. So I haven't watered this in like months. So you can see why it's struggling so much. Like the snails were eating them out too. Alright, I think that's it for this one. Oh, there's some cherries on the tree, buddy. Oh, looking like that's the end of the fertilizer there. Alright, well, we got the plants I was actually aiming for regardless. This is just the excess. But yeah, so you see I do the dragon fruit as well. Could do some of the fruit trees and get some of the results.